guys, welcome back to another vlog. I've already had a few of you inbox me wondering what the mark is on Ashton's face, so I thought I would dedicate a video just to explain what it is on his face, because some people think they're rude asking what it is, but they're not. Like, honestly, it's perfectly fine if you ask me about it. I would be curious to if I seen it on someone else's kid too, so I will explain it a little bit more. I do have my laptop here, so if you see me glancing across, it's just because I've written down a couple of notes, just so I can go backwards and forwards and make sure I don't miss anything. So what it actually is a hemangioma. In other words, it's called a strawberry birthmark. So it's a skin development when there's an abnormal proliferation of blood vessels underneath the skin. People aren't sure why this happens, but they believe it is caused by like certain proteins produced in the placenta during gestation. So Ashton has one on the right cheek, and he also has a large one on the back of his head. They're both quite raised. They're both very red, very pink. As you can see, I'll pop a photo up here on the screen now. This was Ashton the day that he was born. He had no birthmark whatsoever. His face was clear. There was nothing at all. I'll pop another photo up here now, which is when he was 3 weeks of age. It started to appear on his face. It almost mimicked like a scratch, and we thought that Ashton had just scratched his face. We started raising questions maybe about 2 weeks after we noticed this scratch on his face. It just gradually got bigger, got more prominent on his face, and we knew that it was not just a scratch. The size and the colour obviously was increasing. It was getting more red, and it was like really raised on his skin. I'll pop a photo up here now showing what Ashton's face looks like now. He is now 9 months old. By the time this video goes up, he'll be 9 months old, and as you can see, it's very large, it's very raised, and it has little we call little lightning strikes coming off it on his skin. If I can get one of the back of his head, I'll pop it up on the screen. If not, it pretty much, the one on the back of his head is a lot bigger. It has like a golf ball sized lump under it. We took Ashton to one of his scheduled 12-week checkups. At this appointment, they noticed it was increasing in size. So they told us that it would become an issue if he scratched it, if he bumped it, anything like that. We were then referred on to go and get scans, mainly of the one on the back of his head, just because this one was quite large, and like I said, it's like a golf ball sized lump underneath there. It's so they could make sure that it was only just a hemangioma, that there was nothing else happening underneath the skin, anything to do with his skull, anything like that. They just wanted to rule everything out and just give us clarity that it was just a strawberry birthmark, just the same as his face, but just a little bit larger. Thankfully, all these scans came back clear. We got a pretty quick response. They were all good. Everything was normal. It was just a quite larger strawberry birthmark on the back of his head that had formed. Shortly after this appointment with his scans, we were referred onto the Brisbane Children's Hospital, to the vascular surgeons is what they call it. It sounds scary, and I got a very big fright when I received this letter in the mail because I had no idea what this meant. I instantly thought that Ashton was going to have surgery, and I was just a mess. It was not fun at all. All it was to have a like a Wi-Fi link up so that, or a telephone link up via Skype, so that they could see Ashton in person. They could meet with us, they could explain to us what it actually was and what was going to be happening. By the time Ashton was 13 weeks old, he was placed on medication called propranolol, which was to help cease the growth of a hegemonioma. I still cannot pronounce the word. I just call it a strawberry birthmark. So when we were told that he would go on this medication was they thought that it might be able to get rid of it completely. If anything, it would just halt the growth of it. Now, if anyone knows about strawberry birthmarks, they only grow in the first year of their life, and then they will cease. They will tend to diminish. It can take several years for them to go away. It could take longer, and there's no scars, no marks, no nothing. They just grow and then they just diminish and go to nothing. Like I said, most of them disappear on their own, but the pediatricians wanted Ashton's to go away quicker, just because he is more at risk of scratching his face, bumping it. We have noticed that the one on the back of Ashton's head, if he does bump it up against a high chair, if he falls down on a toy or something like that, it will hurt him and he will cry because of it. But the one on his face does not bother him whatsoever. He never plays with it, doesn't touch it. He doesn't really even notice that it's there, which is a good thing, because we really don't want him playing with it or anything like that, because if it pops or it bursts or anything like that, it's definitely not good. Each month we have to have Ashton's medication made up, so it's not just a normal medication that you can go into the pharmacy and buy. We actually have to have this made up. They call it compounding, so they have to compound this medication into a liquid form so that Ashton can take it via a syringe. Ashton is on this 3 times a day when he has a bottle. We have noticed a significant difference. Sometimes, I don't know, I think because his face might be getting a little bit bigger, that it might look smaller to us. To give you a indication, his one on his face is about 1 centimetre by 1 centimetre, so it's quite large and it does pop off the face a fair bit. We actually have a doctor's appointment coming up in order to get Ashton's height and weight done again. His medication, his dosage needs to be given as per his weight. So every month every month or two, we have to go and get Ashton weighed to see if he can go up in dosage or anything like that. I'll give you an update this afternoon once we've been there, and let you all know how that doctor's appointment went. Ashton will be stopped on this medication when he's 1. He can no longer take this medication after he turns 1. So we have another phone link up with the vascular surgeons in January. I'm assuming that is just a checkup, just to see how he's going on the medication and see how his face is travelling. It's been good. It has halted the growth of the birthmark, so it hasn't gotten any larger or anything like that, but in saying that, it hasn't gotten any smaller, hasn't changed in color, it hasn't faded or anything like that. That's what they were hoping this medication would do, but it's obviously just halted the growth, which we're so thankful for. Because we didn't want it to grow any larger and come in contact with his eyes or his nose or anything like that, because that would mean that they would have to surgically remove it, and I really didn't want to do that. When he's so little, that would just break my heart, having to see him go under. At one of our previous appointments, they have mentioned laser and things like that. Not into too much depth, but have just mentioned it. So when after this appointment in January, the next one will be in April when he turns 1. So he will immediately have to come off the propranolol medication, and then we'll have another phone link up in regards to what we will do moving forward, whether they laser it off, whether there's anything else they can do to help remove the strawberry birthmark from his face and his head. I hope this has answered all your questions in regards to Ashton's strawberry birthmark. If it hasn't, please feel free to message me, feel free to comment below. I'm happy to answer anyone's questions in regards to this. It doesn't bother me whatsoever if you ask me about it. I'm happy to answer any questions or anything that you might have for me. So we are just on our way to Ashton's doctor's appointment in regards to his birthmark. It is it is time for us to get him weighed and height checked again, so that we can up his dosage. Ashton's in the back there watching his DVD player, keeping him occupied in the car. So we just got done at Ashton's doctor's appointment, and our little skinny mini is only 9.5 kilos. So he's gained a kilo in 2 months. He is off the scale, isn't he? He's 75 centimeters in his length. So he's definitely going to be a tall, skinny baby. So no update on his dosage. We're just continuing on his same dosage for his birthmarks, and we will have another appointment with the pediatricians in January, and we'll just see. But he's got to stay on this medication until he's 1, and then they will have a meeting with us in regards to what they're going to do moving forward to remove it. So if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next vlog. Bye.